America with Rich Valdes, powered by PolitiWeek.com.
And Rich Valdes is with us, former Christie administration official.
You worked for Chris Christie, you've been in politics, done a lot of public service stuff.
Rich Valdes, columnist now with the Washington Times.
This is America.
Richie V, you're on the air with the nation.
This is America with your host, Rich Valdes.
All right, America, this is Rich Valdes. We are here at the WABC Stage 17 floors above Madison Square Garden here in New York City. Today we have a special edition of This is America with our esteemed guest, a good friend of our program. We've had him here before. You guys may know him for the best night's sleep in the whole wide world. Visit MyPillow.com. It's none other than the inventor and founder of MyPillow, Mike Lindell. Welcome to the program, Mike.
Thanks for having me on. It's awesome.
You bet. So, last time you were on the program, we talked a lot about the movie that you produced, and you had a cameo in, and that was really fun. Yeah. And we talked about all that controversy and drama that you went through with Twitter, and that continues.
They just released the movie in Canada now. They banned it up there from showing it. Now it's got opened up a couple weeks ago.
Excellent. Well, thank God,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And we talked about My Store, so we'd love an update on that. And then, of course, we want to talk about new projects, things that are going on back home at Minnesota, as well as what's going on with Mike Lindell and what's happening down the road. So I guess let's start with whichever one of these topics you want to go
the My
for.
Store is easy. We're still vetting products and stuff, and if you go to mystore.com, you can, if you're an entrepreneur with a good invention, put it up there, and we'll see if it makes the platform. And when that comes out, it's going to be amazing products that are a safe place for entrepreneurs, so they know and their products. And I'm going to have a show. Each one of them is going to be like a little infomercial, because everyone's got a story behind it.
That's
like
right.
My Pillow, like myself, and so I'm going to be there with him, and we're thinking of even having a show like where I bring TV show where I get the entrepreneurs. So
interview. That's great.
That'd be awesome. Yeah.
Awesome. So we talked about My Store, and I think it's fantastic. When is the official launch of that? The next step?
It could be a couple months out, because right now what I'm doing in the meantime, I'm actually going to pre-sell my book, and I wasn't going to do that, but in about 10 days or so, it's going to be, you look up mikesbook.com, and we're going to have the pre-sale, because I'm going to take some of those proceeds to launch my baby, which is the Lindell Recovery Network.
That's right.
And I launched that, and that's been 2 years in the making, but this is the biggest need we have in our country with the opiate crisis and everything going on, and I just want to get this out there and start getting people saved.
Yeah, and for people that don't know, when Mike was with us last time, he talked about the Lindell Recovery Network. And what the Lindell Recovery Network is all about is helping people that are facing addictions and helping them holistically through a myriad of resources that he's funding through this organization. Right. And what was the website again for that?
That's the LindellRecoveryNetwork.com and .org, but that one that's not set up yet. That'll go live. I'm not even putting it up until we're ready to go live in about that'll be within a month, I would think.
And for the book, which is about to go into pre-sale, when does that hit pre-sale?
That will hit pre-sale, I'm hoping 10 days, but you can keep checking at mikesbook.com.
Mikesbook.com.
MikeLindellsBook.com.
MikeLindellsBook.com.
But that's going to have all the story too of the Lindell Recovery Network, to tell you how it's going to work and all these things. So it's going to really, it's like we're all in this together. And I seen those Kickstarter things. I'm going, these guys wait 6 months for their products. I'm going, well, I better get this, pre-sell the book to get this network started sooner.
Right.
And it needs, I've got millions of dollars in it, but it's going to employ so many people and that are careers in this recovery network and help so many millions of addicts. I really think it's going to change the whole addiction, just stop it.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
So what other new projects do you have on the horizon?
Well, they got the big recovery, Lindell Recovery Network, and then as far as My Pillow goes, we're going to shift in a little bit of shipping and fulfillment because of the My Store coming out, the mystore.com, but I'm going to get very involved in Minnesota in this next election. I'm going to get the word out, all the great things that have been done. And even in our home state of Minnesota, it's been these things that we're doing in the inner city with the addiction and everything. That's where we started there. But all the good things that I see now in Minnesota happening, we have the lowest unemployment rate that we've had.
That's
I
great.
can't remember. And the wages they're all finally getting up where My Pillow's at. But it's so rewarding to see. I was a crack addict. You know that with my story. And being an ex-crack addict, when I came out of addiction, in January 16, 2009, it was like coming out of a coma. I didn't know anything about politics, and I come out and I go, I see all these terrible things going on. We're giving money to an evil empire. There's a thing called ISIS. All my friends are unemployed, and it was just, things were just in kind of shambles. And it was like, I'm going, what did I miss?
Right. How'd we get here?
Drugs, how'd we get here? And then I started to learn what's a liberal, what's a conservative, and learn all these things about and where my Christian faith belongs. I'm going, wow, so much falls right here. But anyway, I ended up meeting the president at a private meeting in the summer of 2016. And when I met him, we talked about everything he was going to do. He said, he talked about the inner city, bringing the jobs back, like with My Pillow. And I walked out there and said, he's going to be the greatest president in history. Right. And now it's like I tell people, like, this guy's so common sense and pragmatic, and it's just every little thing. It's like, what if he wouldn't have had any pushback? It would have been,
right? How much more?
Where would we be at now? It's just, it's just. I am so proud because I went in 100% behind him, and now when people come up to me, I still get a few that come up and they go, we love what you're doing, but what's wrong with you that you're, back in the president? And I'm going, he's done everything he said he's going to do.
Yeah, I mean, if you just look at the economy, if you want to, I tend to not look at race because, as a kid, I learned that Dr. Martin Luther King struggled and died for the civil rights movement.
Right.
And my parents are from Puerto Rico. I'm born in Brooklyn. And so I think to myself, if he fought and died for the concept of being judged not by the color of our skin, but by the content of our character,
absolutely,
why should we today, so far into the future, say, you're the white guy and I'm the Puerto Rican guy?
Yeah,
why aren't we all just Americans?
Yeah, and we are. And it's just the ones doing that, we know who's doing that.
Right.
And it's just sad. It's like,
but if
what's
we do,
so bad?
Right. But my point with saying that was if we break it down, we look at African American unemployment, and it's the lowest rate it's been in
history,
forever.
Minnesota in history.
Yeah.
It's just,
same thing with Hispanics.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what I want to do in this next slide is just educate. You just brought those two groups. When Donald Trump won, you had his base, and then you had a ring around that going, I'll go ahead and give it a shot. They're not going anywhere at all. Now you have a whole nother ring, a whole nother people left of center here that are going, you guys, look at what he did. And they're all going to jump in, because I'm telling you, we've never had it. People say, we have all this going on. If you shut out the news over here and you go look around you, things are awesome.
Yeah.
They really are. If you just would shut out the news and go, hey, how you doing today? I'm getting my paycheck. It's awesome. The stock market's at an all-time high. What I've seen is consumer confidence. And I'll tell you what. I talk to people all the time. When you talk about entrepreneurs, people that want to go out and take a chance now in business or in invention or in business.
Right.
Now they can do that, and there's a safety net that they didn't have before because they can always go back and get a good paying job because they're all over.
The job is available.
And you go back to 7-8 years, everyone's living in fear. They don't want to do that because they don't even want to quit jobs they don't like because people are getting happier now because they're jumping into stuff they like.
Including investors.
And investors, everything is just, I would hate to have to run against this administration because I'm going, what do you say?
I know what you say. You say
awesome.
You're a racist.
Yeah, that's what they're doing.
You're a homophobe. You're an Islamophobe.
That's what they're doing. And it's sad. And, it's so sad. And people have to realize if you're a company out there, if you're a CEO or you're out there, this is the time we have to stand up. I've spoke out for this president, and every day in my business, you know what the best day is? Today. The day we're sitting in. And you know what? It's the media and these few people over here, way crazy left, that are making it. They're acting like it's all of us. It's not. All these people here, you got to know that things are so good. And when you talk about Hispanics, they're the most Christian, family-oriented people there are. And it's like, you guys, this is where you need to be here.
Yeah.
These guys in the black community, they've lied to them. Yeah. Everybody's lied. They've lied and lied and lied for 50 years. We're going to do something, and then the politician gets out and what? You know, I had to learn that because I was on drugs back then. I didn't even vote. I didn't know anything about politics. But I've learned back on where did we get here?
Yeah.
We got here with a bunch of lies back then. That came all the way up to Donald Trump, because it was a series of lies to the American people. We're going to do this for you, and you promise this. Well, have you ever had a president, you list his promises off and you check them off? I'll bet you it's in the 90%. The only ones that the only ones that aren't done are the ones that have been blocked.
Right. Yeah, and not for a lack of trying.
Not
either.
for lack of trying. For me, the addiction is so dear to me, and I'm going, the most illogical thing ever is that wall. That should have been put up to stop the drugs pouring into this country right away.
20 years ago.
Yeah, 20 years ago, but especially when they had a chance last year and they got blocked. It's like, you put the money up, and you go back 4 or 5 years, and other presidents and other Democrats are going.
They're all for
Let's
it.
build the wall. Come on, the illegals coming in. The illegals are pouring in.
Yeah.
They're illegals. They're not immigrants. They're illegals, and they're illegal drugs coming across. It's not good.
Yeah, and I've talked about on this program oftentimes, when you have this illegal immigration flow coming into any city, in particular here in New York City, what ends up happening is, let's say I have 2 daughters. They're not interested in construction, but they have friends that are boys, and I've met them, and they're like, oh, I want to get a job doing construction. They get beat out every time by the guy that is willing to work harder, stronger, faster, and for less money, because of the flow of cost-effective labor, illegal labor.
Well, here's the illegal, and I want to put this out there. Let me tell you something. What I believe is, in the laundromats, okay, in the 80s and 90s, are the illegal drug money in this country. They'd go get a cash business somewhere, wheelbarrows full of cash into the banks. Now you can't do that. So how are they getting rid of this drug money? That's what these companies and these that are
politics.
These companies that are paying the illegals cash money, because we're not on ePay, so they're paying them cash money. Where's that cash coming from? Where are these wheelbarrows full of cash coming from? These guys are not paying federal taxes on those employees, the illegals. So they're the ones that are taking all this money from the American people that should be paying taxes. These billionaires that are hiring all these illegals and stuff that are, that's what makes me upset. I'm going, are you kidding me?
I can tell.
You got another company, if you got a company, and I'm over here paying cash and underpaying the illegals on top of it, and you're paying taxes and you're paying people the good wages they should be getting, our legal citizens. And who's at a disadvantage? You're at a disadvantage.
Of course, the honest guy.
The honest guy, and this is wrong. People wait years to get into our country and do it the legal way.
Yeah, and that's who it's most unfair to, is every immigrant that said, you know what, we're going to come here
I hired
the
so
right
many
way.
of them. I probably have 900 of my 1,500 employees, and they worked hard to get here, and they applied. They did it legally, and they don't want their jobs taken from them for.
Yeah, no, who would?
Yeah.
Who would? So while we're on that, because I think politics plays a big part of this. You're in Minnesota, you've got probably public enemy number 1, politically speaking, right? Figuratively speaking. You've got the congresswoman from your state, Ilhan Omar.
Right.
She's not very popular as of late, but tell me, give us your take on what's going on with Congresswoman Omar, and B, maybe follow that up with what you're going to do in terms of voter education, and how exactly are you going to energize people to vote in Minnesota?
What I'm going to do, I'm not going to badmouth her. I'm not going to. That's not what I do. I think the stuff they do speaks for itself.
Of course.
And I. In Minnesota, I believe, is ground zero, and we haven't been. It's not been Republican since 1972.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. But your governor seems to be rather ineffective.
Yeah.
And your 2 senators even more ineffective.
We've got. We've got a big battle with the Senate with Tina Smith against her, but what I'm going to do, because each time it seems like the election comes up, the media blocks me in Minnesota. Like they'll go. I could say today, hey, I'm walking across the street, and they'll all be out there like this. All of a sudden, it's the election going, hey, you want to talk to me? No, we don't want to talk to you. We'll wait till after the election. But I'm going to do a lot. I'm going to get involved with a lot of, I'm going to get to the people, and I'm going to educate them on the great things that are getting done in Minnesota and nationwide. And I'm going to, we've started, with Mike Lindell Recovery Network right in Minnesota and working with all the great things that are going on. And basically it's getting around the media to write to the people. And I'm going to do that I'll do my own rallies if I have to, whatever I have to do,
right,
because I'll draw the people and then be able to get the message out of the things that have gotten done and the things that are going to get done. And things that have gotten done is in spite of a lot of people.
Yeah, a lot of opposition.
A lot of opposition. And once the public knows this, it's just going to be, whew, I think you're going to see Minnesota, you're going to go, wait a minute, this is a misprint. Where's the blue? Where's the blue?
Well, from your lips to God's ears, tell us a little bit about your actual strategy. What are some of the things that you want to get done in Minnesota?
Well, I've talked to a lot of the congressmen there, and I'm going to teach them, show them where I believe their money should be spent in their advertising. And I think to reach the
you're saying entrepreneurs?
No. They when we go around
for campaigns.
For the campaigns.
Okay, so I'm a marketing expert.
They come to me all the time. Hey, to help us. I said, I'll help you. Tell you where I think you could strategize your best marketing dollars.
Smart.
Where you're going to reach the people. And I'm going to do a lot of things. Like I said, my own things. I might do 10 rallies myself in Minnesota just to get the people out there to say, here's what's going on in your city. Or, in our state, and people are very partial. They want to hear what's going on closer to home, then it goes out from there. And
radio is very much the same way. People love some live radio, great national programs.
We're going to do I'm going to do a lot of radio and a lot of media, but it's media that's going to get through to them. And now that my, I finally got a blue check on Twitter, so I'll be
congratulations.
I'll be able to reach people now. I believe that they're going, that I am the real Mike Lindell. I had that problem. They kept putting up fake ones. And
you also had the issues with the movie you put out.
Yeah. But Jack Dorsey took that down. I reached out to him and he took it down. I said, hey, there's a problem here, and he took it down. And I said, thanks, Jack. Whether we don't know what happened, but
right.
But with me personally on Twitter, I had a problem because they would put up fake ones and they would badmouth people on the left, and I don't do that. So they're trying to get them upset with me. I say the good things that are going on. I don't need to talk about. I want to talk about the great things and where we're all going together. We're all going here together, whether there's these far extreme people over here that don't want to go there. They want to do something. We got to unite as a country. And all of us, and go, you know what? Let's just use common sense in spite of whatever you have in your head of how you feel about a person or administration. If they're doing the right thing, let's get this moved together and let's all go down this amazing path.
I'm so glad you said that because I think the division it's at an all-time high, and it gets higher every day. Every day we do need to get together as Americans and stick together. Right. Now, switching gears, two last questions before we wrap up. First is, we have Democratic debates coming up. What do you expect to see coming out of the Democratic debates?
I don't even watch them, and I don't. I mean, I'm more for me right now. I'm going around the country. I have an evangelistic speaking I'm doing. I believe, I just think that God gave us grace on January 6th, on November 8th, 2016, to give us another chance. We need to get God back in our schools. We need to get God back in this country, and I don't watch that. That's all going to come out, itself. I mean, for me to watch it, it's just not that, so we can all sit and talk now. I want to be out there doing what I believe is the right thing to do at this time. And so I probably won't be watching them. Do I think what's going to come out of it? I think you're going to keep having shifts, and whoever does the best debate, it's going to shift all the way for months.
There's an ebb and flow to everything.
Is there any candidate that I like out of there? No.
Right. Now, earlier you mentioned there's a group of people that are in this little ring that got caught up into the last election saying, let me give them a shot. And now that's going to grow with new people coming in.
Absolutely.
It's my opinion that Hispanics are going to play a large role in this ring that you're describing. Yeah. What's your final thoughts? I guess we got probably about 90 seconds left. Right. How do you wrap that whole thing together?
That's the population. You have to say, you have to educate and say, you guys, everything we're going for is right here. The family. Do you know that in prison? This was a poll in a prison. How many people in this prison, that's the felons now, both parents got married, planned their child, and were still together when they were in prison? 0%. That's sad. We need to bring this country back to where with family values and God we trust.
Amen.
And start with that. And if you educate the Hispanics and say, you know what, here's the good things that are going on now, and here's what was going on before, and just just
share the message.
Share the message. All we have to do now is get the message out, because before we voted on faith. Now we have proof. Right. Amen.
Amen. Well, Mike Lindell, thank you for being here with us at This is America. We're at Stage 17 here at WABC Radio, 17 floors above Madison Square Garden. I am Rich Valdes, and This is America.